All right, everybody, welcome to the call. Today, we're going to be going over expired listings and how to put a couple of $1 million in the pipeline between now and the end of the year. We had a client the other day, a couple of weeks ago, put $2.7 million in the pipeline. This was a $32 million producing agent last year, so it's like $3 million a month, and in literally 3 days, he put $2.7 million in the pipeline. I confirmed that with him because I thought he said 2.2, and I just double checked with him, and he said, no, I put 2.7 million, and all expected to happen in the first quarter of 2026. Absolutely awesome. We have clients that are actually signing listings. We've had clients already close listings, and then we've only started this in about a month and a half ago. So it's absolutely phenomenal. The tools that we've got in Listings to Leads are going to absolutely blow up your business if you actually use them, in particular if you use them in the way we talk about. So welcome to the call. My name is Scott Pierce with Listings to Leads. Go ahead and comment where you're coming in from, and you will see I put in a couple of links into the chat. So if you're joining us here on the live call, you're going to see two links. One is, and I'll show you, which is ordering the expired marketing plan to get your home sold. These booklets are 24 to 26 pages, and they show an expired homeowner a plan that literally gets you halfway to getting the listing signed all by itself. This right here, I don't care what YouTube video, what trainer, what coach, what group talks about expireds or listing presentations. This presentation booklet is available both via a PDF. Sometimes our clients will text them to a homeowner and get a listing. Sometimes they will email them. Sometimes they door knock. Sometimes they mail, but they get listing appointments scheduled. And then when they use this in a listing presentation, they absolutely blow it out of the park. So Jose, welcome. Good to see you down there in Texas. Felicia in Connecticut. Crystal, Tennessee. Seems like all the big podcasters are coming out of Tennessee lately. Anthony, welcome. Good to see you there. Exit Realty in New York. Awesome. We got a broker. Oh my God, what's his name? Jeff Misrata. Do you know Jeff Misrata? Am I pronouncing his name right? Exit Realty out of New York. Longtime client. I've known him for about forever. So anyways, anybody here going after expireds? Oh, that's your broker. Awesome. All right. Well, tell him I said hello for sure. Definitely. Yep. Awesome. Sweet. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Tanika down there from Maryland. Sweet. All right. Awesome. So who here is going after expireds, whether you're using our system, and if you are, let me know, or if you're going after expireds from another, in another way. You're going to see when you go to our homepage, there are 3 videos. And this woman on the top right, she is going after expireds. What she does is she will look at all the new expireds coming through on a daily basis. And she's in a small little area, and she will call them. She will text them. And just by calling and texting, she has gotten 4 listings in 6 weeks. Absolutely phenomenal. The guy down here, bottom left, and that's actually a 12-minute video, right? You don't see too many websites putting a 12. I'm on the phone calling them. Not Tanika. That's awesome. I love it. That's perfect. Yes, this is being recorded. It'll be on our YouTube channel. I'll point you in the right direction for that a little bit later. Just Listings to Leads YouTube channel. It'll be right there. But bottom left right here, this guy, John, he first day called 5 expireds, connected with 2 of them actually, but one of them in particular, he has since signed for a $925,000 listing going live January 19th. He has as well used one of our emails sent out to, I think, like 50 leads. Got another listing from an expired, and then he used our Facebook ads for an open house and got another listing that's closing on 12/30. So he's on fire. And then the guy right here, bottom right. In fact, this is also a longer version of this video. This is the guy here, did $32 million last year in production. And in the first 3 days, went door knocking, door knocked about 12 doors and put $2.7 million into the pipeline. I highly recommend. In fact, let me go find his video on our YouTube channel because it's really a good video. I'm going to drop it into the chat. Don't watch it right now because listening and watching me will be more beneficial. But go ahead and I'm going to put the link in. And there we go. Perfect. I'm going to grab this link. I'm on my other monitor. That's why I'm looking away. But this video here would be, let me just pause the video and I'm going to drop it into the chat. So click on that link if you have a chance. Let it open up in another tab. Come right back here. But he gives you some really, really good scripts on what to say at the door. If you're looking to get your pipeline filled up, if you're looking to get listings, what we're going to talk about today is absolutely the way to go. Now, I will say, in fact, I'll tell you what, let's just do this. Let's log into Listings to Leads. And I will say that, again, there's this link. I put this into the chat as well. That's where you can order these booklets. These booklets are absolutely one of the best things that you can have. And I'm going to show you the flip book version of it. I'll show you where it is in your account. You can actually create and print these from your account. You don't need to order them from us. The benefit of ordering from us is you can get 10, 20, 30, 40 of them at a time so that you're not sitting there trying to print them up at home to then go door knocking or mailing or whatever it's going to be. That gets really time consuming. I mean, it costs about the same to print at home as it does to order from us. But the quality of what you get from us is going to be better because it's going to be more like a magazine versus printing at home. But you got options, and I'll kind of explain that to you today. And then we're going to talk about using the flip books for sending via text. That's what JJ did, the girl on the top right of our homepage. That's what she was doing. And we have other clients, again, sending the link via email. So there's all sorts of ways to just go after this and absolutely crush it. All right. So in fact, let me ask who here is a client. And if you're not a client, let me know. I'll be kind of curious about that as well. So if you're not a client, let me know. You're more than welcome. Please stay. I'm not trying to find out who you are to kick you off. I want you to stay, but it'll just kind of give me a sense of, am I talking to mostly clients of ours, or do we have people that are not clients? It'll just help me out a little bit if I can know. So yeah, client just signed up. Perfect. Jose. Awesome. Welcome. So most of you are clients, it looks like. Might be a few that are not, but otherwise, perfect. Let's go to listings. So there are two groups of expireds. You've got the new expireds, and that's what JJ was doing. Let me just refer back. So JJ here was going after new expireds. So these are brand new expireds are coming through. Great. John was going after expireds that were about 2 months old. So these are people who, they're past the inundation of agents calling them. You know how that is, right? Now, I will say JJ is in a very, very small market. So I think going after new expireds in a smaller market might be a little bit easier, just because there's not a million agents in her market that are calling every single expired coming through. But if you're in a average or above average market, as far as population, going after new expireds can be a little bit brutal if you're doing it via phone, just because they're getting calls from so many people. Again, John down here in the bottom left, he was going after expireds that were 2 months and older. And Scott, bottom right, he was actually going after expireds that were 6 months and older. I recommend you can do a little bit of both, but I would recommend starting off going after expireds that are older because they're not being bothered by agents anymore. And if they are still expired, they're most likely going to be selling. So first idea is to discern the difference, to understand the difference between a brand new expired, all right, where there's a lot of competition and a lot of people going after them, versus expired that have sold in the past. All right. So that's kind of step number one. Step number two, you can create an expired listing in your account for a particular home. So you can see here, I've got a property here, 834 Mazarine Lane, Loomis, California. And you can see there the status is expired. I've got another one above it, and it doesn't have an address. It says, I specialize in getting homes sold that other agents couldn't in Placer County. So any of you could take that and say, in Central Maryland, in Greater Baltimore, in the Greater Houston area, in Louisiana, right, in your sales area. So there's two distinct types of ways of going after this. If I click on this one, and I recommend, for example, if I connect with an expired and I want to send them something, then I would add them to my listings to leads account. I would create the flip book and the PDF, because here you're going to see this is, oh, let me see. Hold on a second. Did I not put I didn't put the name on it. So I'm going to say Frank Costanza, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to regenerate it. So when you can add so that the expired homeowner's name and address are right on the cover, and that is his home. So that is his home on the cover. These will win you the listing, whether it's a listing presentation, an expired, a canceled, a FSBO, before you ever get there. When you use this, you are not going to be losing listings. You're not going to have to argue over commissions. You're not going to have to argue over pricing so much, because when you walk a homeowner through this and you do this first, all right, you go into a listing presentation, you introduce yourself, you let them tour the home with you so they can show you all the great attributes about the property and how you're going to, what are the things you're going to highlight in your marketing. But before you ever talk about the CMA, before you ever talk about commissions, you're going to go through this, because by the time you get done with this, they are going to look at you as the most expert person, the most expert agent out there to get their home sold. This answers some of the most pressing questions that we all know we get in a listing presentation, or when we're talking to a homeowner whose home has expired, who might be trying to sell their home as FSBO but aren't really getting anywhere with it, which is, how are you going to sell my home? Right? What are you going to do to sell my home? How are you different from every other agent? Every agent is calling me and they're telling me they're the number one agent, that they're the best, that they can sell my home. But you are walking in with a plan that's already done. You're not talking about what you're going to do. You're talking about what is already dialed in and ready to go, because in every image here throughout this presentation is their home. So that is their home that they're looking at. And all the way through this, from paid Facebook advertising, social media marketing, YouTube videos, print marketing, neighborhood farm marketing, email marketing, sphere of influence marketing, short form videos, listing websites and virtual tours, flyers. Now notice that domain, 834 Mazarine world's best listing. They can click that, and now they're looking at their single property website that's got their street address right in the domain. You are showing them that not only are you amazing, but you are showing them that you are somebody that has everything ready to go. You're not making promises. You're not telling them what it is that you will do. All right. You're showing them what is ready to execute, what is ready to happen right now. They go through this. They can scan the QR code. So imagine you're in a listing presentation. I tell you, when you get into this even further, and they scan this QR code. Oh, I took a photograph for some reason. Right, look at that. Now, my single property website, let me see if I can get that in more. It's a little blurry. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get it to focus, but you can see the idea. That is their home on their phone now. All right. When you learn a little bit more, if you're not 100% on this yet, you're in a listing presentation, you're going to have them scan that QR code, and they're going to be looking at their phone, and they're going to be looking at the presentation, right? You're going to print it up as a leave behind, but you're also going to present, whether you present on the print version or you present on a laptop or a tablet, and they scan that QR code or they send a text, they are blown away. They are now they've got you on their phone. And it's not just the about you part, who cares? It's about how you're gonna market their home. What are you gonna do for them? All right. And we're gonna talk about coming soon, how we do the just listed. Now, if you don't do coming soon, you can actually take that page out. I always recommend that you leave it in there, just because even if you don't do coming soon marketing per se, I do coming soon activities related to getting the photos done, talking about how we're going to, lightly stage the house or whatever it's going to be in the house, so they can make sure that it's show ready. Maybe do a little bit of work around the curb appeal in front of the house. Make sure that the yard looks good and everything's nicely dialed in. So there's going to be things that we do that, even if it's not classified as actual coming soon marketing, is coming soon activities. So I like to leave that in there regardless. Then we got just listed, open houses, active marketing. We talk about pending marketing, and you may or may not be able to read this on the screen, but it says, when an offer is received and accepted, there's still a lot of work to do until the deal is closed. We will continue to market your home until the deal is done. You're going to want to make sure that you point that out when you're in your listing presentation. Homeowners absolutely love that. All right. We're not just going to quit marketing when we get an offer. We're going to keep marketing until the deal is done. Right. That's like those guys in football, right? They catch the pass and they're running down the field and they're 5 or 10 yards from the end zone. And you see it every year. There's a few of them, right? And somebody comes up from behind and strips the ball from them because they pulled up at the very end, showing off, how great they are. And next thing you know, they're on the highlight reel because what it should have been a touchdown wasn't, because they slacked off, right? They pulled up, they didn't run into the end zone like they should have. And so when we talk to the homeowner about how we keep marketing your home even after an offer is accepted, you never know what's going to happen in this market. All right. All the way through here, traffic reports, your client reviews. If you got that set up in Listings to Leads, all right, they can click on that, go to see all of your client reviews. This is fully editable. So awesome stuff right there. And then we got the end of it. Now let's go back in here. Let me click on that flip book again. And then there you can see prepared for Frank Costanza at 834 Mazarine Lane. When they see their name and they see their home and address on this thing, and that you can create as many of these as you want, right? Depends on what kind of account you have with us. But even at the most basic level, you've got 10 listings. All right. And if you've got 5 listings, great. If you got 10 listings, up your subscription, you got them, you got 10 listings. All right. You're getting a lot of value from it. So up your subscription, but you want to make sure that you are maxed out with however many listings you've got capable for your account. I would make sure I've got these prepared for the best seller leads, but also the best expireds and the FSBOs in my area. All right. Now we're going to come back to how to contact and engage these expired listings. But just before I do that, I'm going to show you the other one. Jim, yeah, hold on one second. Great question. I will get to that. this is the version where it's not for, oh my God, I can't believe, what does this do? The complete marketing plan to get your expired home sold. Now, this photo right here is an AI photo. And let me do this. So in headline, we're gonna walk through how to create these from scratch. But for the headline, I put the 100 plus point home marketing plan to get homes sold. And now that line will actually replace what I had here. What does this do? I was messing around with something. But anyways, so this photo right here, so this is for like my sales area. All right. I can't create these booklets or these presentations for every single expired or every single settle lead in my area. So what I do is I create a listing that is for my entire area. And so this image right here, to answer that question, what I do is I grab a listing photo. Maybe it's one of my older sold listings. Maybe I go grab a photo of a home in the area from somewhere. So this is an actual listing photo of a home in my area. But what I do is I run it through Chat GPT, and there's no special prompt. All I say is, this is a photo for a home in my sales area. I want to use it as a reference for a new but similar photo that people living in the area would recognize as a home in the area, even though it's AI. Please change the color of the home, the landscaping, the deck above the garage, and window placement and garage door. Does that make sense? So what I'm trying to create here is an image of a home to use in my marketing that everybody in the area is going to go, oh yeah, that's a home in our area. They're not going to know what home it is exactly, but they're going to recognize it as a home in the area. So it changed the shading a little bit. It changed the deck a lot, right? The deck had the arches. Now it's just no arches. It changed the landscaping quite a bit, but it left the trees and the garage doors the exact same. And so I just real quickly, I said, hey, that's great, but just do one garage door and get rid of the trees, essentially. And so now that's a much better photo. Now it's one garage door. So if you're the owner of the reference photo, you would never know that this was a reference for your home. Does that make sense? Um, exactly right, Jim. So Jim says, and let me actually put these comments on the screen so people can see them. But Jim is exactly right. Now, I've got another trick for you, because going after the photos of a particular home may not be the easiest thing in the world to do. So I've got something for you on that one as well. All right. So let's do this. Let's walk through. And Joan says, Scott, I prepared a listing presentation for a warm lead. After open house, ChatGPT house number, I prepared for the presentation. I missed it. Can I modify my no, that's already. Joan, yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. So Joan, that's a great question. And real quickly here, let me just pop up Jim. All right. So Jim's got it right. The print version are generic photos. But again, they're not generic like I went to some website and bought a photo of a completely generic image. What I like to do when I say generic is grab a photo, go take a photo yourself of just some representative home, and then do what I did, run it through ChatGPT and say, hey, use this as a reference, but keep it really similar so people in the area will still recognize it as a home in the area. And you could even say, Folsom, California, change the color, change the landscaping, change the window placement and the roof type so that you're going to get a unique photo. But like I mentioned, it is still recognizable for homes in the area. So to Joan's question, yeah, Joan, I'll speak to that in a minute, but hold that thought. That's a great question. So we're going to create a presentation, and then we're going to get into how to start going after expireds. So I'm going to go to Add Listing Manual, and I'm going to select the status as expired down there, expired. Now, if it was for a specific home, so Joan had an open house, awesome. She got a open, I tell you what, when you have an open house, you should have the neighborhood, the area one printed and at the open house, because that way when people come through, if they are a homeowner, and what I would do is I would just tell everybody, hey, thanks for coming into my open house, right? Do your thing. And then at some point I would mention my 100 plus point home marketing plan to get home sold in Folsom is sitting there on the table. If you're curious and want to take a look at it, feel free. And then if they start looking at it, right, at some point, I'm not going to jump on them, but then at some point I might ask, hey, do you have any questions about that? Do you own a home in the area? Oh yeah, I own a home down the street. Offer to print and create a custom copy for them, and just mention, hey, I can create a copy of that for you, featuring your home on every page. And if you like, I can drop it off tomorrow, or I can send it via text or email. And what a phenomenal way to engage people from an open house. I'm telling you, when we do our open house training, we talk a little bit more about that, but it's amazing. So let's get back to this one. I'm going to put in the name Joan Hudson at gmail.com. And now I'm not going to worry about the headline so much, just because I've got her street address. This is not her street address. I'm just making it up. And I got to do better than Gold Lane, because I use that way too much. 95630. And, I'm not going to do, price, bedroom, but, I don't have to worry about that. If you want to put in the bed bath, if you want to put TBD, you can. Save and add photos. And there's going to be a dummy photo right there, but what you're going to do is go upload images. And now, actually, let me show you something here. Let me show you. I'll let you read that for a second from John Summers. That was a great comment. While I bring over from my other monitor the idea of using Google Street View. So check this out. And I'll give you the link here to what I'm looking at. So if you join our group, we have a second mastermind group that is focused just on expired stuff. And there's a link. Oh, that's a shopping list. Under post worth reading, using ChatGPT to make Google Street View photos look amazing. So I'm going to give you all this post right here. And so check this out. I went to Google Street View. And so Joan, I don't know where you got your photo from, but so this is Google Street View, right? Now, would anybody actually use this in a presentation? Like, would you take that, upload that into what we're doing right now? Of course you wouldn't. It looks awful. It's overexposed. It's pixelated. It's got cars in the driveway. It looks like a Google Street View photo. So of course we're not going to use this. But what did I do? I ran it through ChatGPT, and I'm going to give you the prompt. I'll show you the prompt. It's nothing special. And I got that. Look at that. Google Street View. I just snipped it, right? You got Google Street View. And then I just snipped the home. And boom, I got that right there. And the prompt only was, right, I copied the image into ChatGPT, and I said, can you make this look sharp without the cars so I can use in my marketing in a landscape format? It didn't really do landscape per se, but good enough. And that was the image it gave me. And then I got a little bit greedy, and I said, let's do one in an early golden hour version, like, the golden view. And it gave me that right there. That is absolutely stellar, right? This alone is beautiful. That is the image I would download from ChatGPT, and I would upload into this presentation booklet. So you got the option of, and I believe Jim, so you got the option of either A, going by and taking a photo of the property, which, can work, maybe it can or not, or go to Google Street View. And some people they'll find a photo on Zillow, Realtor.com, or what have you. All right. These are not photos we're going to actually use in our marketing. We're just using them in the presentation to engage the homeowner with. All right. So even this photo right here, I'm not going to use this in my actual marketing of the property necessarily. I'm not really sure why I would, because I'll have professional photos of the property. So hopefully that helps, makes a little bit of sense for everybody right there to answer that question of where do these photos come from. So anyways, back here. So I'm going to upload a photo, and let me just find another photo. So I'm going to insert it. So far we've only spent like 30 seconds on this, right? I mean, it's Tanika never thought about what exactly. So I got my photo. I'm going to delete the dummy photo, right? That dummy photo, get rid of it. We don't want it there. You don't need the kitchen, bathroom. We don't need anything else. Just one photo. That's all we need. To keep it simple, keep it easy, and we're done, right? The email, the name is going to pop up there. Now it says save and start marketing. That's a little bit misleading. We're really not going to be marketing the property. And let that cycle through. Let's see, let's hit way back, save and add seller, save and start marketing. There we go. All right. So now it's going to generate. We have a landing page. Sometimes people like to use the landing page that they'll send. What I recommend, and there's a post in the mastermind group, and this is for a listing presentation, but it can also work for an expired, where I print it up or I take a screenshot and I actually send it to them so they can see their home and their name and their address right on the cover there before I ever actually send them the whole thing. So that's another little kind of another engagement point. All right. So we're going to come back to this in a minute. I am going to go to our group, and we've got this. So this is the I'll show you how to find this a little bit later. We do 2 calls a day every day, Monday through Friday. We're not doing one tonight, of course. The day I tell you we do 2 calls a day, I tell you we're not doing the call tonight. I'm going to the Bay Area a little bit after this call. But normally we do 2 Zooms a day, and you can click here to register and join us. And I'll show that to you. I'll show that to you again in a minute. So step 1 is always we got to get a hold of them. All right, we got to get a hold of these expireds. And if you got RedX, you've got My Plus Leads or anything like that, you're good to go. If you don't, I'm going to give you our affiliate link for My Plus Leads. The benefit of our affiliate link is if you sign up for My Plus Leads, you get like a 30-day free trial. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's click on it. So it'll take you here. So for $70, you get 30 days for free. All right, you sign up. What you're going to want to do is let them know that you are with Listings to Leads, and this is important, so pay attention. Can you add 6 months worth of data to my account? Because otherwise, you're only going to get 30 days of data. Meaning, if I were to get a free trial, I log in, I'm only going to get expired from December 19th, 18th. Oh, wow. Christmas is in 1 week. From December 18th through November 18th, which is fine. But I really want to go back to 6 months, 9 months. I like to go back to a year. But for the first 30 days, if you can get back to 6 months worth of data, you're going to be fine. All right. You'll be fine. So, again, so you're going to have a source of expireds, and then you're going to, and here's what I recommend. Now, everyone does something a little bit differently. It's crazy that people have had success in every facet of engagement. And I'll explain what I mean by that. the first step is you're going to call them. Well, what are you going to say when you call them? We got a script for you. The script is right here. Right. So I'm not going to be going through this script in detail, but it's essentially, and there's one pro tip in here, right? You'd call and you would say, "Hi, Ann, this is Scott with XYZ Realty here in Folsom. I saw your home was listed for sale for 97 days. All right. You see what I did there? I said 97 days. By telling them how many days their home was on the market. Now, if I saw that your home was for sale for 3 months and 14 days, but we want a specific number because I don't want them thinking I am just randomly calling people as a telemarketer. I want them to understand I know what is going on. All right. I know how long their home specifically was for sale, because what that's going to do, that's going to start establishing myself as an expert, as a trusted advisor, not as just some salesperson calling through a list. So that item right there where I say was listed for sale for 97 days, that's key. All right. And didn't sell. And I wanted to reach out directly. I have a 100 plus point expired home marketing plan to relaunch expired listings and get them sold. Can I send you a copy to review and see if you might find it interesting? And that's it. Can I call the brand new expired that just expired this morning? Of course I can, but they're also getting 20 other agents calling them. So I recommend that you start with expireds that are 2 months or older, and then go from October 18th, then the 17th, and the 16th, and the 15th, and then September 31st and the 30th, or September 30th, 29th, and like that, and just work your way backwards. All right. Work your way backwards. If I want to look at the ones that just expired today and see if there's any of them in there that might be like A list expireds, i.e., luxury, right around the corner from me, something about that is just like, I want to have that listing. I'm going to get that listing, because for those, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go straight up. I'm going to add them to my listing leads account, get their home picture. I'm going to, add their name, add their email, and I'm going to create the specific one for their home, and I'm going to go door knock. I'm not even going to bother calling, because I already know they got 20 other people calling them between 8 and 8:30, and then they got people randomly calling them for the next few days. So I'm just going to do an end round, all right, and I'm going to print that up. I'm going to go door knock, and I'm going to leave it behind. If they're not there. And then what I will do is I will call and text, and then I will say, hey, Ann, this is Scott. Want to let you know I dropped off or I saw that your home was on the sale for 97 days and didn't sell. And I just dropped off my 100 plus point home marketing plan to relaunch expired listings. Right. And let them know that you dropped it off. So, but again, I really want to focus on expireds that are, a couple of months old, not brand new. And this guy Mahmoud, this guy is killing it. He's doing really good. He did a post yesterday where he got a couple of FISBOs engaged, which is awesome. We've got a separate voicemail script. Why is the script different for a voicemail? The script for voicemail is different because typically over half the people are going to read the text transcription of that voicemail. And so I want to make sure you notice the first line now says, "Hi, Frank, quick message about my 100 plus point expired marketing plan." Because when my message goes to voicemail and they see it flashing across the screen, I want them to see 100 plus point expired, because then that's going to get their attention. Me yapping about, hey, I'm Scott and I'm with XYZ Realty, and hope you're doing well, and isn't it such a great day out there? They're going to be scrambling to delete that. All right. They're not even going to pay attention to you. So if I get a voicemail, this is the voicemail that I leave. All right. So it's all right here. And then we've got a text sequence. All right, now we're going to start texting. And the text sequence, we break it out between A group leads. And again, A group just means it's above a certain price point in a certain area, and it's a certain kind of like a what am I trying to say here? Like it's a listing that I'm just excited about. Okay. So, my area, that might be, $1 million and above, and it might be within 15 to 20 minutes of my office, and it's got good curb appeal. In other words, it's something that is above a certain price point that I think I can sell. All right. I don't want to get, this isn't necessarily, and it may not even be like a $4 million listing that would take 6 months to sell. I'm looking for good listings, right, with a good commission check where I can add a lot of value. Those are my A group leads. And that means I add them specifically to my listings to leads account. So I'm creating, it's got their home, their name, their address on the cover. And then I got 3 text messages for them, and they're all right here. Now we go through this and we go through training on this. So this will be the link to their, and I may have deleted this. Let's see. Hopefully I didn't. Oh, perfect. So, right, look at that. So that in my text message, prepared for Gwen Dorsey at 5120 Oak Avenue, Rockland, California. So I called, whether I left a voicemail or I talked to him, and now I'm sending a text message. Now, always keep in mind, you do not want to break laws. So if you're not sure about texting and phone calling, talk to your broker. But when you use a program like My Plus Leads or RedX, you will know if it's on a do not call list. All right. So, and does RedX integrate with L2L? And it's not whether it integrates or not. I mean, there's the short answer is no, you can't pull in information automatically. But obviously you can use RedX to do what we're talking about. Okay. So you see here, I sent Gwen at 5120 whatever or 489 Whitney the text message right here. Right. Hi, Gwen. Just want to share my 24-page, 100 plus point expired home marketing plan that shows how I sell homes in this market to get the strongest offers possible. Here's the link. And all that is just a bit.ly link from the flipbook. I didn't want to send the long URL in the text message. So I created a bit.ly link. Curious what you think when you get a chance. This is Scott Pierce with XYZ Realty in Folsom. And then I just got the please stop if you prefer not to receive messages from me. Now, I could send this from Lofty. I could send this from Follow Up Boss. I could send it from, if I don't know, does RedX have that kind of a text capability? If they do, great. If not, fine. Just people send it from their phone. So just be careful. Like, you don't want to spam too many people from your phone. If you're going to use your phone, just be very judicious about it. Preferably you've got a texting program, but no, I mean, again, there are agents that just do it right from their phone. But I just want you to always be careful. And don't do something illegal. So if you're not sure about this, talk to your broker, do your research, ask your MLS, and then never get into like a mass spammy kind of a thing, because that's a great way to get into trouble. If we use L2L to create ads and so on, is the expired system included? Yes, it is. No, it's included. Yeah, it's part of it. Yep. There's text number 2, text number 3, and then we have a separate text series for the B and C's. Now, these are that's the other flip book presentation where it talks about my 100 plus point home marketing plan to get homes sold in Placer County. So there's no homeowner's name on it. There's no address. I'm using the generic neighborhood photo of a property. Okay. We're all on the same page. We're all clear. So for that group, it's just a different series of text messages. It's somewhat similar, right? Hi, Gwen. want to share. And now this link right here is going to my general flip book, right? Again, that's the generic area home, the 100-point home marketing plan to get home sold, right? The complete marketing plan to get so that's, and so it's not their home specifically, right? This is again, what I did is I got a home in my area. I ran it through ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT to use it as a reference, change the color, change the landscaping, change the windows, the garage. Like this might have been like a one-door garage, and I said make it two. And now I've got this as my presentation to send out to my B and C leads. All right, so that's text number 1. And then we got 2 more, text 2, text 3, and text 4. All right. I'm going to come back to, so that this is what we were going off of, right? We were talking about the 4 text sequence. Then we got an email. So after we email, or after we send a text message, if we do, then we got the email. And the email is essentially it's just the link to the flipbook, right? You can do as much as you want, but it starts with, hello, Donna. I specialize in helping expired to cancel homeowners get their home sold, often for the price they wanted and sometimes more. And so that's the email. And what's a great idea to do maybe is include the link to Zillow for their property, because now they're going to be looking at that and they're like, okay, yeah, that's, and sometimes it'll just be the Google Street View, which is even better, because now they're like, oh, wow, my home's on Zillow and that looks kind of crappy, right? It's like, that doesn't look great. And then I've got here the complete marketing plan to get your expired home sold. Now they click that. All right. And now if this was an A, then that would be the one to their specific property. If it's a B or a C, then it's just the general neighborhood one, right? The area presentation. And so, man, now they got this. And I'm telling you, JJ didn't even do the emails. She just did the phone and the text, 4 and 6, 4 listings in 6 weeks. Other clients are using the email and they're getting listings from the email. And then, all right, back here. So we did the call and text, we did the call and voicemail. We did the text and the email. And then step 4 is, now we got letters. Now you can mail these, right? See if it says door knock or mail. Mailing, in my mind, is the hardest and it takes the longest. So it takes a lot more effort, a lot more time, unless you're going to use something like Mailbox Power or Zaire Mail or Thanks.io, right? And we actually get into training on how to do this. Let me see here what we got. So, yep. So if it's an A lead, I'm gonna, could I mail this? Yes, I could mail this. What I would do is I would get a nice envelope, or get a nice marker. So it's, what I don't want this to do is, I don't want this to be invisible. I want this to stand out to the homeowner, because I want them to know from square one that, I am somebody that's a step above everybody else. And I will show you a link. We have a shopping list of envelopes I recommend, everything, markers, envelopes, also the whole 9 yards. So I'll show you the shopping list in a minute. We have a expired cover letter. And if you were to scan that QR code, it goes to the presentation, either the one for their home or the neighbor or the area one. So we got a cover letter, and you can, if anytime you are going to request access to any of our Canva stuff, what you're going to do. So, and I'll give you the link a little bit later to the main page. But when you come in and you request access to any of these Canva tools or marketing pieces, what you're going to do after you're granted the access, you'll go to File, Make a Copy. And that way it's going to copy to your Canva. And then now you can edit, save, and use it. All right. There's a trash sheet. Let me explain this. This came to me from a coach. So if I'm going to mail the presentation, and this can also work when I go actually door knock, it's just the MLS printout of their home. And I've circled a few items. I circled the photographs, I circled the details, I circled, some of the other information right there. And at the bottom, I put, I know why your home didn't sell. Call me, Scott Pierce. Now, this was an idea from a real estate coach. I was training some other people, and he stopped the training for a quick minute, and he's like, hey, I got to add something to that. He goes, use what we call a trash sheet, which is what you're looking at right here. And the uglier, the better. And it's just circle, 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 red ink. And then I know why your home didn't sell. Call me, your name. And you will include that underneath the cover sheet and above the booklet. Because what it's going to do, it's going to make the homeowner, and black and white is perfect, a little bit faded is perfect. It's just going to, is the dichotomy, or is it just like the difference between them looking at this and then right underneath it they see this. Boom. I mean, you went from way down there to way up here. Okay. And so that difference is just fantastic. It's really, really powerful. After you door knock, right now, if they're not home, we're going to send a text. We got all of this spelled out for you. We got so much of this spelled out for you. So if we door knock and they're not home, we're going to text them and let them know that we left something behind for them. All right. I don't want them to be surprised when they get home. If you're going to mail or door knock, so we got envelopes that you use whatever envelope you want. So, I mean, for mailing, I love these black envelopes. And somewhere else in here, there's another link to these markers. They're kind of like these metallic-ish kind of markers, but they look so hot on these envelopes. Now, if I want to use purple, or I guess that's pink or blue or red, right? Use whatever color you want. I thought the black looked really slick, right? But use what you want to do is I just don't want to use don't overthink it. All right. So sometimes I love overthinking things, but at the same time, I do like to stand out. I do want to be a step above. And I want, when people think of the marketing that I'm doing, that they go, yeah, he does something different. He's not like every other agent. So anyways, now door knocking, check this out. It's not the same envelope. Because if I door knock, I may be leaving it by the door, and especially this time of year, but even in the summertime, I want to have an envelope that's weather resistant and see-through, because I want them to see the cover of that plan. So it'll get them excited before they even pick it up, right? Again, I don't want this random envelope sitting there by the door. And it's like 100 of them for $31. There's a blue version, which is kind of cool, but I think the white version is great. And that way, if I go door knocking, now I'm giving them an envelope that maybe they can use later. I would still use the marker to put their name on it. All right. So I'm still going to, not on this side, I would, flip it around to the other side. And let's see here. Yeah. So it's going to flap on the back side, and then on the front, I'm still going to put their name and address, even though I'm door knocking, because that way they know it's for them. Okay. Like I said, we go through, what I try to do is leave as little to like, what do I do again? I try to get everything dialed in here for you. And we've even got a letter. So if you're a person like, hey, I like doing letters, this is a great letter here. So this is not the cover letter. This is where we are going to be sending the homeowner a letter every 21 to 30 days. And we're going to keep doing that until they get a hold of us. This came to us from one of our clients, and we upgraded his letter quite a bit. And so what you do is you use a photo of the home, like you would never use that photo. Let me show you. I would, right, because that's all grainy. When I did the right, I would use a photo. I would take this, copy image. Check out how easy this is. You just paste that image, and and if this looks like magic to you, once you've done it once or twice, you're like, oh, that's it. It's like so easy. So, right, get a picture of their home. I change the name, and it's going to be the same QR code for every one of them, right? It's because this is not an A lead. This is a B or a C lead. I mean, it could be an A lead, but even then, I'm still going to use the same QR code to my general flip book. And boom. Right, there we go. Right to my flip book. And I've got the call to action right there. Please scan the QR code to view my digital marketing plan. And I tell you what's amazing. Again, people have gotten listings from just calling and texting. People have gotten listings from just calling. All right. People have gotten listings from door knocking. People have gotten listings from texting. Right. Any one of these things can get you listings. It just depends on, your market, your style, what it is that you like to do. Like, for example, for me, I would do all of it. Right. I would call, leave a voicemail if I don't get them on the line. Then I would send a text. Then I would send an email. And then I would, if it's a lead, like again, if it's above a certain price point and it's, a listing that I would just die to have, like I'm not going to die over it, but you get my point. I would come in and I would add it to my listings to leads account. All right. Let me just close out. I don't need that open. I would just come into listings to leads. Oh, here's the one that we added a minute ago. Right. Joan Hudson, 8567 Gold Lane. So I would add it to my account like we did here. And check this out. Everything is done even to the point of, look at that domain, 8567 Gold Lane, world's best listing, automatic. All right, it's got her address on the cover. Joan, your home looks amazing. I love it. It's got the property website. Let's see. Let's scan. Now we literally just created this while we were on this call, right? Do you remember? We literally created this on the call together, and I'm going to scan that QR code, and boom, there's Joan's home. She's looking at her home right now, right on her phone. Isn't that amazing? Absolutely stunning. Do the mail services mail one post at a time? Do the mail services mail? Well, if I'm going to mail it, if I'm mailing the presentation booklet, like the hard copy, then I would just do probably, one or two at a time. For the letters, that gets a lot more intense, right? I'm doing 20, 30, 40 at a time, and I'm going to be redoing them every 21 days. Right. Another QR code, right? Coming soon, just listed, open house, active, pending, just sold. I mean, by the time Joan gets through this, she's like, where's this guy been my whole life? Right. Why did I not? Where was he when we first listed our home? Why wasn't he the agent we got, in touch with to begin with? And while every other agent is sending a letter, or they keep yapping on the phone, right? Joan did an end around, right? And she's going to get that listing. Now, you still got to get a hold of them, right? If you door knock and they answer, phenomenal. That's even better. Here's another thing. There was a woman not too long ago. She door knocked and got a listing agreement signed while they were still there. So imagine she door knocks, has the plan, introduces herself, hands the homeowner the plan. The homeowner takes a quick look at it, invites her in, gives her a tour. The agent had, thank God, and for all of you, keep in mind, take your listing agreements with you. Be prepared to do an impromptu listing presentation. Now, here's a beautiful thing. When Joan sees my plan with her name and address and picture on her home on every in every picture, my having to establish my expertise and my bona fides for pricing and commission, I'm 80%, she's going to listen to me. All right. So when I tell her, and again, I want to have the information. I want to be able to dial it up very, very quickly if I don't know it ahead of time. But, be prepared for the homeowner to say something like, well, what do you think you could list my home at? Right. And so you want to be able to, at least understand what are you going to say if they were to ask you that. Now, what you might say is, hey, that's a great question, and that's something that we should spend a little bit more time with. Would you, when is a good time for me to come back? And I can come back and we can have that conversation, or you could be prepared to do it right then, right? Maybe ahead of time. You do because it's an A lead. You're going to go door knock, so maybe you spend 5 minutes and you come up with a price range. And so when you get that question, they would say, you might say something like, what, I've already looked at the comps in the area, and there's a few properties that have sold recently at this price per square foot, and this is what they had that maybe got them that price, or did get the price that they may have wanted to. There's currently a few homes on the market at this price, and I think if we were to go to market with your home, this is what we should list it for, right? Just be prepared for those kinds of questions. Whether you're going to say, hey, let me come back and let's do this a little bit more formally, or you're prepared to talk at the doorstep, or when they invite you in, and then but again, it could be at your first meeting. We have literally had people get listing agreements signed while they're door knocking the first time. We've had people get buyers from door knocking an expired listing. All right. Any questions? I think we're good. Have to go. Yep. I got to go too as well. No, I'm sorry. The flip books are not available in Spanish yet. Hopefully we will at some point though. Can we say we are a local real estate agent? We only give the first name. Can we say we're a local agent? Sophia. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, get into the mastermind group and ask that question. I mean, I don't think so. But if I were to say, hey, I'm assuming you're talking about leaving a voicemail, or you're talking to them on the phone. I mean, I don't want to be an invisible agent, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I kind of, yeah, sometimes you call up and there's a crazy person or something like that. So yeah, maybe get into the mastermind group and ask, maybe, because that way we can get more context around the question, I think. Okay. All right. Listen, everybody. Again, here, I'll tell you what, in your Listings to Leads account, let me see. Right here. Let me just make sure that's the right link. Nope. Not that one. You can sign up for the calls here. This meeting has ended. Huh? Oh, that's the one. Oh, that was for this morning. Oh, you know what? December. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Because originally I scheduled this whole thing to end on December 18th, but man, we're doing these calls through February at a minimum. So I'll get that. So here, let me do this. Let me give you the link to our group so you can join us right here. So here is the link. Excuse me. I'm going to drop that in right here. And so if you want to join the group, now you can post whatever you want in our main Facebook group. But if you want to join and access that document that I was reviewing, when you get into the group, it's under featured, and it's the daily action plan to engage and list expireds. So you click that, and you're going to click it again, and that's that sheet that we were going through. So now you got access to the phone calls, the text messages, the emails, the letters, the door knocking, right? You got all of that right here. And you know how to add the expireds to your account as either a specific property or for a general sales area. And then you've also got the link to order these presentation booklets so that you're not sitting there killing yourself trying to print up 10 at a time on a home laser printer, which will drive you nuts after about the third one. After like the third one, and the quality of these is so much better. So I really recommend that you order these from us, and that you got the ability to do both. Okay. All right, everybody. Yeah, Meredith, just that link above. So right above your comment is a link. Click on that link, and then again, when you get into that group, and the group is Expired and Seller Lead Pipeline Accelerator. And we talk about FSBOs in here as well in our training. And when you're in this group, it's just the first post under featured, the daily action plan, right? You click it again, and that doc will open up. Okie doke. Meredith, are we good? And we'll tell Jeff, yes. Hello. Yeah, Merry, yeah, tell him I said Merry Christmas as well. And so again, there's no 4:00 tonight. I'm gonna have to redo those Zoom links. But 7 a.m. tomorrow Pacific, 10 a.m. East Coast, and then 4 p.m. Pacific. And they're really cool. We come up with some crazy ideas in there that are really good. So I recommend, you don't need to join us every one of them, but if you can join a couple a week, I think you'll get a lot of benefit from it. All right. All right. Yeah, Meredith, you just joined. Take it easy, take it slow. Don't overwhelm yourself. Just find what you think is most impactful for you and to go with that. Ask support, ask in the group. Don't bang your head and kill yourself over anything, okay? All right, everybody, get to work. Have fun. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.